It's the season-defining moment. Manchester City take on Crystal Palace at the Etihad Stadium, and if they do not win this, then they might eventually be adding Arsenal the title for the first time in 22 years when they face Burnley at home at the Emirates Stadium. It's going to be a firecracker match. Manchester City have to win or they get nothing at the end of the season. My name is Adedamola. You are welcome to the English Premier League preview show here on Score City, where passion meets purpose. In the studio with me is Mide and Elizabeth. Welcome, Mide and Elizabeth.
You're welcome, everybody.
Now, good morning.
Good morning.
And the fact that we're talking about Manchester City.
The fact that we're talking about Manchester City, they paying you.
And they pray.
And you they pray.
Same with Crystal Palace.
Same mistake Crystal Palace.
Do their do.
Waiting they won't do.
Go Etihad.
Yeah, go do waiting.
Go get the 3 points.
Manchester City will trash Crystal Palace, whether you like it or not. Well, for the Guardiola that we know Guardiola. Guardiola will not lose this match. The worst that they will get is at least a win. That's the worst that we have.
Never say never in football anyway. That is one thing I want you to know.
I don't want Arsenal fans to be happy.
Why?
Well,
Why? Why are you an hater?
I don't want them to be happy.
Right now, I'm an Eagle fan, but let's continue.
Ladies and gentlemen, well, Crystal Palace could actually be doing the London boys a big favor. But Oliver Glasner, you know him now. You know what he can do. Quickly, let's go to the main discussion here. Manchester City, can they handle the pressure against Crystal Palace? Mide?
Yes, Manchester City, they have the experience when it comes to winning titles.
Look at you, smiling. Talking about
Yes, it's the truth now. It is when
enemies.
Once you know a team can actually do something. Yes, this is a team that the experience, the mentality is there. But one thing that has not been going for them this season is that they have looked a bit vulnerable. This is in some games, especially in transition, and in a game where that is games that are actually tensed, that are quite emotional. Look at that game against Everton. A game that they needed not to drop points. They got the goal, and even though Everton equalized, they went on to concede 2 very poor goals, and that was now a mountain to now. Credit to them that actually came back and to get a point in that game. But absolutely, those are the kind of games that shows that even as mighty as Manchester City are, they are still vulnerable at the back, and that is one area I think Man City and Pep Guardiola needs to work on. Going to this running.
Elizabeth, the biggest player for Manchester City on paper might look like Erling Haaland, but we all know that the best player is a certain man from Spain, the Ballon d'Or winner, Rodri. As Guardiola failed to build a system where Manchester City can play without Rodri.
Well, every team, every football team has a player that they cannot do without. They can only manage, to win games, to get their wins and all of that. But they have players that they cannot do without. Every football club has that man. Now for Rodri, like I said earlier, of late that there has not been Rodri, you will see Man City's midfield is more of an attacking midfield than a defensive midfield. They concede chances. That midfield looks, good when they are on the transition to attack you, to beat you, to get progressive with the ball. But when they want to defend, stay compact, that midfield is so weak. Imagine you have a midfield of Cheki, Bernardo Silva, and then probably O'Reilly or sometimes. Those 3 players, they are an attacking-minded players. So if without Rodri, they are going to have issues. And when you play, the only good thing is that they are going to play a Crystal Palace that they have their eyes on the final of the Conference League. They will rest players, and then without Mateta right now is a doubt because it's out injured.
I'll show you that they will rest players. The Conference League is still fun.
It's still far, but their main player is Mateta is out injured, and then the other man that is doing that one that's Ismail Assar. They want to manage that guy as much as possible so that he will be available for the final. That guy has scored about 19 goals and then and he has 1 assist for Crystal Palace this season. He's their most important player right now. They don't want him to get injured. So against City, they know they have nothing to lose. They are going away to Etihad. These guys are chasing for the title. So what Oliver Glasner will do is just manage the game as much as he can. Make sure that his important players don't concede. The front 3 that you want to set up against City will be the Lassin, Ismail Assar, and Bernard Johnson. But for City, that midfield, they will concede chances, and their defense, they will be prone to error. They will concede chances, and should Crystal Palace be more clinical, they are going to get goals against City. But I still fancy City to win.
Mide, let me ask this question: is Manchester City too dependent on Rodri?
Well, every team has that player that they want to. They believe that they cannot do without. At Chelsea, it used to be Hazard at one point, Arsenal too, Sanchez at some point. So what am I saying is that there are certain players you cannot, they are not easily replaced. what they bring to the team, and that is why they are the talisman of the team. There's a reason why they are the biggest star of that squad. So Rodri in this case has been instrumental. He dictates everything. He epitomizes everything about Pep's team. Control, tempo, when to, and he's very, one thing is, it's not just about the tempo setting and everything. There is this understanding on how to break, and that is why against Everton, it was so obvious that it was not in that game, because those goals that City conceded in transition, if you're to be on the pitch, I'm very sure that he'll be doing something, and that was very great. So he brings a lot to that City team that just anybody cannot just come in and replace, and that is the reason why he's so indispensable to City.
Oliver Glasner is a man on a mission. Crystal Palace, for all their history, they never won a title before. But Oliver Glasner came and changed their life. That's right. He gave them something to be proud of. And I think to some extent, they started becoming, too proud for their status. He won them the FA Cup, won them the Community Shield. Now, Oliver Glasner has gotten them to the final of the Europa Conference League. The question I want to ask me is, should he prioritize Europe over the league right now?
It is a no-brainer. This is an opportunity to win a title, and I believe that is what is going through Oliver Glasner's mind right now. When you have the chance to win a title, you go for it. Every other thing that comes is secondary. The most important thing is, because nobody remembers you having a good campaign and losing a final. For all what is the end? Oh, now let me ask you, what is the end goal of having a good season? Is to have something to show for.
It's good performance.
As bad as it is right now, Chelsea are having another final to play, and they have a chance of at least having something to cheer about a very bad season.
And when 2026 is reviewed, nobody remembers that Chelsea finished probably below.
Nobody remembered Chelsea finished 6th in the league when they won the Champions League in 2012. Nobody remembers that. What they remember for that season was they are the champions of Europe. So that is the most important thing, and I think Oliver Glasner will be doing the same.
Now, one of the biggest tridents, or let me say quartets, in the English Premier League right now is the Haaland, Doku, Semenyo, and Ryan quartet. Or you can call them the Haaland, Doku, and Semenyo trident, whatever language you want to use.
All right.
Now, Crystal Palace, how do they stop Haaland and Doku? Because these are the two most informed players right now. Elizabeth, how can Crystal Palace stop them?
They can't do much. They can only contain them. Because whether we like it or not, Doku right now will run you down. He has the energy. He doesn't get tired. He can run 90 minutes and he will not flop. He will not get tired. So right now he's on form and he's adding goals to it. And the only thing they can do is just, look at the mistakes, Everton made, and then the mistake, Brentford made in that game. Don't give him too much chance. Very open to the 18-yard box, because that man from there, he can fire. And once he fires, he's in the back of the net if you're not very careful. If your keeper is not as good as Raya, who is the best Premier League keeper right now, you can concede chances and you concede goals. So right now, you don't do too much. Just make sure that you contain them as much as you can. Don't allow him in those spaces. Don't give him too much space. And then for Haaland is that man that is very physical. He makes use of his body, his strength all the time. So if you cannot make sure that you're not going out so much. You are not trying to, to go, especially this, they are Munos, running down those wings, running down, overlapping, underlapping, all of that. If you want to mark out these players, you have to stay very solid in your defense area. Whether we like it or not, those guys will score. But just don't make it too much. So, it doesn't affect you on the league table, because the more goals you concede, the more it might, drop you down on the table.
For all you can say about Crystal Palace, they are not looking for form right now. But do you know that Crystal Palace has won 7 league games, away league games this season? They are only third behind Arsenal and Manchester City. Now, the question I want to ask is, can Crystal Palace continue their away form at the Etihad?
Well, given that
can they surprise Manchester City?
Impeccable record. It's not an easy thing to do. 7 away, wins. That is actually incredible. Yes, for a team of Crystal Palace, not for City. You expect City to go to teams and still play. But what I'm saying is that
they are only third behind Arsenal and Manchester City.
That's what I'm saying. Like, for them, for a team like to be up there amongst the elite, it shows they're actually something. But go and look up about 80% of those wins. They came, when there was no much clarity about if they are going far in Europe. Most of those wins, since they started looking like they are going to make Europe, like go deep in Conference League,
yeah.
It looks like their form took a bit of heat, and it is very clear in their results they have gotten. So what am I saying is that going to Etihad is a different, it's a different gravy. Etihad is a different stadium. It's not just somewhere you go and you pick up points. Not many teams go there and pick points. But can they do it? Yes, in the past they have actually been. And if there's one team that can actually give City a proper,
that was what I was going to.
So if there's a team that can actually give City a proper run for their money, it is Crystal Palace because they have the players. But at the same time, like you mentioned, the Holy Trident or the quartet, as you may want to speak, right now with Doku in that kind of
the form of his life.
Yes, it's
this
absolute
is the best scoring form he has ever had.
No, his best scoring season since he started pro football, and this is one thing and that they need to be worried about him a lot. And to round it off, you can only survive Haaland. You cannot keep him quiet for 90 minutes.
You can only survive Haaland. You cannot keep him quiet for 90 minutes. That's a whole lot on the plate for Crystal Palace. It's going to be a very, very interesting match. I so much believe in that. And like the English Premier League has always given us, never say never. Nottingham Forest had Europe in mind. They went to the Stamford Bridge and they led Chelsea into the Forest dramatically. 3-1. Can we see a repeat of that against Manchester City for Crystal Palace? It's going to be textbook stuff for the Premier League. Elizabeth, your parting shot.
Well, I know that it's very glaring.
Don't tell us to pray again.
No, we're not praying. You are not praying. But I feel like City will get this one out. But because Oliver Glasner will want to prioritize rather the Conference League. But
there's no Conference League in weekend now. No Conference League midweek now.
Once this guy,
Conference League is on the 24th.
Do you know? See, once Ismail Assar get injured.
27th, yes, 24th is against
final.
Damola, once Ismail Assar gets injured, if he gets any injury like this, that their final in the Conference League is over. Because that is the only man that is going to make it happen for them. So, but me as a fan, as an Arsenal fan,
so you believe Sociedad will beat
not Sociedad,
you're not getting
sorry, Rayo
I'm saying
Vallecano.
that once that their star man, Ismail Assar, they want to keep him fit as much as they can, manage him till that final.
Even without Assar, I think they have enough to beat Rayo. Who is Rayo?
Yeah.
They get chances. Don't forget the way they played against Liverpool. They got their chances and they were very wasteful. The three of them, Bernardo Johnson, Mateta, and Ismail Assar. They got their chances against the Liverpool at Anfield and they wasted all of it.
Of course, team do have their bad days.
Yes.
But I'm saying, even with Ismail Assar being out, I still believe they have more than enough.
I'm not saying they don't have. But what is happening right now with that man, he must not get injured.
If I allow this Arsenal and Chelsea fans to continue talking, then they will take every iota of minute I have in the studio. Thanks for watching this beautiful package once again. My name is Adedamola. Please remember to subscribe on all our social media handles at Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and X at ScoreCityNG. Please do subscribe on our YouTube channel for more beautiful, exciting content that you might not get from anywhere else. If it is not Score City, it cannot be Score City. Thanks for watching again and see you next time.